just do their job, and then we'll move on. All right, enough of that.
You are on
Hello, is 12 there?
This is 12.
12, this is Bobby Ingram with the group Molly Hatchet. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, and you are on the air with Sideshow and Mongo and our board operator Duke and our guest. And we got a full house here today.
Hey,
brother.
welcome to the show.
Good to talk to everybody. How you doing?
It's great to talk to you, brother. We couldn't quite hook up last week, but we're glad we have you now.
Yes, sir.
And we're really excited. We've been talking about this for a while now, because as you know, I don't know if you know, we're going to see you on the High Seas Rally in October. We're going to be there to cover it.
I heard that, man, and what an awesome cruise that's going to be, right?
That is going to be outstanding.
We're looking forward to it. We're going to have a great time, and we're gonna make some waves.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to hearing that music, man. I mean, it's something we've all actually grew up with, and you know, Southern rock is just it's an amazing, and on a boat, it's going to be great.
It's going to be outstanding.
It's going to be amazing.
It's American history. It's
right,
American
man.
music history.
It's what America.
Southern rock is American music history. It's part of us now. It's part of who has made us through the years, right? Everybody's grown up with Southern rock. We were all kids when we started listening. We've grown up. We've lived with it. We've had experiences with it. We've had great times. We've had memorable times with it, and we still get behind it and have a great time.
Yeah, you look at songs that Molly Hatchet has put out, and it's not a fad. It's generational. It goes back. I mean, this is music that will last forever. This is music that sparked memories, sparked childhood memories that people just feel good about every time they turn it on their car radio. Man, they hear it and they're like, I remember exactly where I was. I was at a keg party in the woods listening to that song.
You know, we used to have stereo wars in the open squad bay when I was in the Marine Corps in Japan.
8-track?
And well, but the interesting thing is people would always try to outdo somebody else with their newest system because they had some outrageous systems. But Molly Hatchet, Flirtin with Disaster, when that album would usually play all the way through before somebody tried to come in louder. It was pretty cool.
Well, I know that we've done many concerts through the years. I've been in the band now close to 35 years solid.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know this, but Danny Joe Brown and I started out together in a group called Rum Creek in Jacksonville, Florida in 1975. Gave Danny his first singing job, and he was the front man of the group. And we were together a couple of years with Rum Creek, and then Hatchet started coming up through the ranks with Dave Lubeck, and I was in college at the time. I was finishing my accounting degree, and Danny wanted to go on the road, and hey, we were best of friends, and he went to Hatchet, and he did 2 albums, of course. You know, the rest is history. And after the second record, I had just finished college, 4 years, and Danny came over to my house, and he says, man, I just quit Hatchet. He said, band together, will you help me? I said, yeah, well, we used to be in a band back in 75, and so we put together the Danny Joe Brown Band, and we did a record with Epic on that. Glyn Johns was the producer. Glyn Johns did the Eagles from the very beginning all the way up through Desperado. He did the Who's album, Who's Next, did the Stones' Sticky Fingers. He mixed one of the original versions, Let It Be, for the Beatles. So this was my first producer that I was working with, and Danny and I had a great time. We recorded it in Nassau, Bahamas, Danny Joe Brown Band. Then Danny left that and went back to Hatchet, did a couple more records. Then he asked me to join the band. I came in the band in 87. Actually, it's end of 86, but we'll call it 87 so everybody's happy. You know, got to be politically correct, right? 1987 forward, and I've been here ever since. And you're right, Southern rock is going to stay with everybody. It's been with everybody, and let's pray to goodness above that it will stay in our hearts forever. I know that a lot of generational things, like you're mentioning, the music has transcended down to our fans' children, and in many instances, in their grandchildren. They're coming to concerts. They're learning about Hatchet for the first time. They're hearing the first guitar chords, scream against the wall, and and everybody go crazy. So
Yeah.
we're having a great time still. The band's still fundamentally the same. There's been many, many generations of the group. There's the original six, then there's the 80s version, the 90s version, the 2000 version. There's been a lot of different versions, but it's still Molly Hatchet. It's
Yeah.
still the tradition,
The music's
the
the
legacy, the spirit, and it's the songs, okay? So it's all about the music. You know, Molly Hatchet, like you're saying, is generational. We miss everybody that's come into the band and gone, but we carry it on. It's a legacy that we feel like we need to do that for not only the fans but ourselves.
Yeah.
So, Bobby, before we ask you about the rock and roll lifestyle, I just picked up something I didn't know about you beforehand when I was doing my research. You said you got an accounting degree, but you also recently just got your law degree as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that? I lost my wife many, many years ago, almost 2 decades ago, and I was just sitting around the house doing tours, playing around the house, and I said, man, I was an intellectual property owner at that time, and I wanted to learn more about how to brand, how to run a business. Really, how to run a business, how to use your intellectual property, maximize it, protect it, take care of it in different countries. I didn't know how to do that, so I just went and sat in on a class at law school, and absolutely, after 5 minutes, I loved it. And I took the LSAT, I got accepted, matriculation, and then after that, I think I was one of 19 out of 450 to graduate.
Wow.
And I am now a law school graduate, and I'm studying for the bar exam to take that in July or February or whenever I want to take it. It's not a requisite. It's just something I still want to continue to do. I want to get my license. So there you have it. So I went to law school, right? I would actually advise, and ask people if you have that feeling that you want to learn more, man, if you want to do it, you can do it. Look at me. If I can do it, you guys, anybody can do it. And I think business owners nowadays, I think they need the extra edge. They need the legal knowledge.
I was just about to say that, for a guy like you being on tour for 35 years, I mean, you got a busy schedule. And to just turn around and say, hey, I'm going to go to law school and accomplish that. That's an inspiration to everybody out there. I don't have the time. I don't, hey, you don't know until you try. Get out there and see what you can do.
Listen, I made the time, and I had to be in class. It's an ABA requirement. You have to be in class. You can't miss classes. So I was flying back in the middle of the night after shows. I was reading on the airplane, going to shows. I was doing homework. I was, reading at 5 in the morning at airports, waiting for your next flight. I did everything that I could possibly do, to make
amazing.
Sure that.
That's an amazing story, bro.
I don't know how I got through it, but I had a lot of support from the band. I had a lot of support from a lot of people, and God bless them. I thank them for sticking with me through that.
I don't know. I have a problem getting through a full YouTube video. It's like my ADD is like all over the place. Here you go. You're just sitting home one day and go, hey, you know what? I want to learn about branding. I'm going to go to law school. Hey, I want to learn about wings. I'm going to go be a pilot.
Yeah, but when you own intellectual property and you have to go out and you have to take care of it.
Yes.
You really want to know what you're doing. You don't want to have to call your lawyer all the time, right?
Right. Keep your cell phone retainer.
Well, I kind of know where I'm standing with it, So
yeah.
I think it's important to do that, and also it's another mechanism that'll keep the band progressing, keep it recording, keep it out there touring, keep the legacy alive, keep it expanding through the decades, and that's what our intention is.
So
it's not that's all our intention is. We want to keep the band going.
So I got a question for you, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Molly Hatchet is known for having some kick-ass album covers. They're badass. How does one come up with, just in general, an album cover? How do you sit down and figure out, like, we want it to be this graphic or that graphic? Because it kind of goes in with what you're saying about your intellectual property, keeping the band going, because those images, I remember, when I was growing up and in high school, you wanted to get...
Frank Frank Frazetta did the first few, 2, 3 of them. 3 of them, I believe. And then Boris came in as Ezra Tucker. And we were introduced to an artist over in London, England. His name is Paul Raymond Gregory, back on the Devil's Canyon record. I had never met Paul, and I just saw some of his works and was just blown away. I said, wow, wonder if he'd be interested in moving the tradition forward with album covers. Oh, man, he came out with Devil's Canyon, and it was just tremendous. And how we did that is we didn't talk on the phone, but one time, after, a lot of the pre-production was done, and we started recording in Germany, we were on the phone together, and I told him what the concept of Devil's Canyon was, and just verbally gave him, what we were doing musically, and tried to, tell him as much as I could. And he took that one phone call, and he made those covers. Well, we've stuck with that formula through the years since 1996. So all the albums that have been done, he paints them. He's got his own gallery over there in London, Studio 54. You can look him up, Paul Raymond Gregory. He's done many, many, many artists. And we stuck with that formula where we won't talk, but I'll call him that one time and tell him about the album, and he comes up with the covers. They're oil paintings. They're actual oil paintings. They're not CGI. They're not computer generated. They are actually with oil paintings.
I tell you,
So,
and the albums back then, man. When you went out to a record store and you bought an album, it was always about the album cover.
Yeah.
It was always about the album cover.
Does it catch your and the T-shirt
Yes,
and the
yeah,
T-shirt?
And the T-shirt. Yeah. That was.
that's what we would do. We would listen to albums, right? Listen to them, and we would read like every word. We would just look at every little inch on that album, and we'd flip it over 1,000 times and look at it again and see things we didn't see the first time.
Yeah.
And that's what you can still do with Hatchet Records. So the last one we just did, Battleground, it's a double CD, a triple vinyl, and it's out now. Go pick it up. It makes a great Christmas present.
Well,
right.
we
I
were
bought myself one.
Mongo and I actually were
We'll take a couple of signed albums on the
on the cruise.
I bought myself one. It was a good Christmas present.
Listen, you guys are
actually. I got a turntable too.
Oh.
So,
I wouldn't.
That's old school.
I wouldn't remember how to change a needle on the turntables.
me either.
Do they snap out anymore? I mean, I don't remember. I remember doing it.
I can't
changing the
remember.
needles.
All
but-
I did was just put the vinyl on and plugged it in, and there you have it.
Well, I'm gonna bring an album on board.
Great vinyl. Yeah, vinyl sounds wonderful.
Yes.
So they came out with 3. It's a triple vinyl. I've never heard too much of that nowadays, right?
No,
So we're very very proud of the record. It's called Battleground. Go pick it up. And Bobby bought himself one for Christmas. Sure did.
so Bobby, when we go on the cruise, what's how many concerts will you play on the boat?
I think they're doing 2, right?
Are you doing 2?
I think they're still discussing that. 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
I think 3. 2 or 3. 3 of them.
Definitely.
And we've got a couple non-performing events that we're going to do. We're going to do our trivia thing. We always do the Molly Hatchet trivia. We're going to do that and a couple other things. So it's going to be fun-filled. We're going to have a blast, and we're going to see a lot of our friends, and we're going to have a great time on it.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
One
we're
more
looking forward to
question,
it.
man. And, I'm sure, because Mongo is one of our musicians here. He played the accordion piano.
Piano, accordion.
But
Nice.
he's a fan
Was it
of
electric or
Zamfir.
acoustic?
It was acoustic piano accordion.
Yes.
Nice.
I would have pursued it, but my parents made me
Those
play
make
football
great
instead.
Christmas presents too,
But we want, to play in front of 25, 30,000 screaming fans, man, that's got to be exhilarating. To get out on stage, how pumped up are you?
Man, it could be that amount. It could be, 250. It could be 2,500. It still feels the same. We still play with the same intensity, and we still get the same rewards. It's not the amount of people. It's what they're giving back. In quality. I've heard 2,500 scream just as loud as 25,000 at times. So,
Well, I tell you what, the people on this
it's
people on
just,
this cruise
it's what we
grew up
do,
with your music. they're going to be excited because the people on this cruise, the biker rally on the ocean, these guys all grew up with Molly Hatchet.
Yeah.
So they're going to be thrilled that you all are there.
And we're going to be thrilled to be there. And we can't thank everybody enough for coming aboard and flirting with disaster, right?
you go.
And
Hell
we're going to have a great time. And yeah, we're going to have a great time. We're going to go to a whole bunch of different places, and we're going to all rock and roll together on the high seas.
On the
The High Seas Rally. That's October 22nd through the 29th, 2021, leaving out of Port Canaveral, Florida, going down to Nassau in the Bahamas, Coco Cay in the Bahamas. I think that's the name of that island.
That's the private island, right?
Yeah, the private island, Labadee in Haiti, and Puerto Playa
fun, yeah.
in the Dominican. It is going to be a rock and roll week.
Yeah.
Listen, Bobby, we know you're
And
really busy.
I want to tell everybody how they can save some money here. But actually, to get some cabin points. If you use Molly Hatchet as a code word, you're going to get cabin points to your cabin. I don't know how many. I don't know if they've sorted all that out yet. But I'm supposed to to let everybody know that put Molly Hatchet down there, and you'll get some extra cabin points.
Excellent. We'll make sure that whoever's booking now, book now. Use the cabin point code of Molly Hatchet, man, and score some points. You know what? You don't know what's going to bring you, but it'll probably bring you something good.
Something good.
It's going to bring you something.
Going to be a good time. Listen, Bobby, thank you so much. I know
Yes.
you're a busy guy. I promised Amanda wouldn't take too much of your time, and we appreciate you calling in and visiting with us. Maybe we'll get to visit with you again down the road before the cruise. And if we don't, we're looking forward to seeing you guys and hanging out a little bit on the boat. It'll be a
12
great
and Mongo, man, I can't thank you enough for having me on. Really, it's a pleasure. It's great to talk to you guys, and this is with the 99% radio, right?
That's
radio
right.
Network out of Arlington,
right.
Texas.
And we
what a
appreciate you
pleasure
calling.
it is to talk to you guys.
Thank you much. We look
right.
forward to seeing you
Thanks
soon.
a lot, brother.
Take care, bro.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
So, it just struck me though. He said, it's the same. You get the same excitement whether you're playing for 25,000 or 2,500. And I got to thinking, Mongo plays by himself and he gets just as excited.
And I was thinking.